You know you like to get wet though.
It's an evil world we live in.
There are times in life you wish you had a do-over. A chance to warp back in time to change your fate. Back to before you made the wrong choice. If you're in a wreck, make the smart choice right away. Frankel & Frankel. Chosen by the people, feared by the insurance companies. Call Frankel first.
Beats Planet.
Man. Welcome in, chat. Welcome in. Let me tell y'all something, man. Shouts out to Frankel & Frankel, man. I am thoroughly impressed with the advertising package that they roll out for us. You know, I remember when I first played it, everybody in the chat was like, "Oh man, I thought I was watching TV, man." You know, it was so much quality in that advertisement. You know, they said it was so much care taken in that advertisement. You know, they say, man, when I look at how the Frankels put that together, man, there had to be this desire for execution when making that ad. You know, they're also impressed that there was a need for or understanding of having a backup plan. Something that my beloved Cowboys know nothing about. They know nothing about those things. Nothing. I'm just watching this Franklin Frankel ad, and boy, I got sad all over again. Boy, I got so sad. I'm just up here watching the Franklin Frankel ad with y'all. I'm like, damn, boy, when things go bad, boy, you should be able to just make an adjustment on the fly. You should. Like, you know what I mean? If you got hit by a negligent driver or a truck, your plan A was to get home safe. But calling the Frankels is a fantastic plan B. Something my Cowboys know nothing about.
Did you hear what I said?
Nothing about. Man, I was watching the ad, dog. I'm just watching it with y'all. And something that resonated with me was Buddy burning his hamburgers over here. You know what I'm saying? Look, you can always, if you undercook the hamburgers, you can always throw them back on the grill, dog. But if you overcook them, you got to have a plan B. Our beloved Dallas Cowboys are overcooked hamburgers. And they know nothing about adjustments. They know nothing about having a plan. They know nothing about being secure. They know nothing about making us feel safe. I know this was a weird little crossover, but that's just how I felt watching this high quality Franklin Frankel ad. If you got hurt, if you got hit in general by a negligent driver or a truck, call the Frankels. They'll help you out. Don't even call the insurance company. They're going to lie. Don't call your mama. She going to panic. Call the Frankels and they'll just take it over from there. Call them at 214-333-3333 or just go to frankelfirm.com. I like to go over to frankelfirm.com. I like to go to the website and scroll down at the bottom and see all this money that they made for all their clients over there. They don't waste time and opportunity like our Cowboys do. Shouts out to the Frankels for holding us down. Ladies and gentlemen, we should have known that there was some treachery afoot. Ladies and gentlemen, we should have known that our beloved Dallas Cowboys was up to something. You know, it's easy to wake up with a little bit of optimism on these game day Sundays and you go into a Cowboy game. It's easy to walk into a game with a little bit of optimism, especially when your team is doing what it's supposed to be doing. But boy, when your team is flopping around, when your team is being nonsensical, when your team is being worse on purpose, it's hard to have faith in those guys. It's hard to have faith in those guys, ladies and gentlemen. We were warned, you know. Shouts out to everybody that was tweeting me making the he got weed jokes. That was incredibly funny. Y'all, if y'all miss shows, that's on you. I told y'all to write it down because it's going to pop back up at some point. I'm not going to explain the he got weed joke. You just had to be there for it. If you was there, salute to you. But we should have known some treachery was afoot when the Rico Dowdle news popped off, you know? We all had a feeling that there was going to be some type of movement going on at running back. We had a feel that somebody was not going to be available for us. It just is what it is, right? If you're going to elevate Dalvin Cook, you had to feel that somebody was not going to be available for you, right? And if you just kind of looked at how it was, if you just look at the lay of the land or whatever, I think everybody, look, chat, raise your hand if you thought Zeke was going to be the odd man out. Well, you know, I'll wait for a second. I'll give y'all 20 seconds. I'll give y'all 20. Raise your hand if you just thought Zeke was going to be the odd man out. Just raise your hand. I just want to see something. If you just assume that you know what I'm saying? Clarence Hill tried to explain the sickness. I wasn't riding with what Clarence was talking about. It's cool. It's cool. My point was, I feel like Zeke was the clear odd man out. Clear. Did Rico get food poisoning? Who knows? But in common sense would say, you know what I mean? If Dalvin Cook is elevated, at least do the whole Spider-Man meme. You know what I'm saying? At least get rid of the redundancy. I think Zeke and Dalvin Cook were kind of a redundancy. The old man back, neither of them going to play teams, you know? They kind of go out there and catch the ball a little bit. They run around as a change of pace back. I had no clue that they were going to sit the best back. I had no clue that they were going to sit the better back. Me and Clarence Hill slightly disagreed about this yesterday. I was like, man, Clarence, how come Deebo Samuel can be so sick and he play, but Rico can be sick, but not as sick as Deebo Samuel's looking sick, and he not play? And, Clarence tried to make sense in some kind of way that, oh, well, Rico Dowdle's not as good of a player as Deebo Samuel. I don't think that applies. This isn't about Rico's distance of good playerness from Deebo Samuel. This is about Rico as a player separating himself in the distance from Ezekiel Elliott. That's the difference here. Greg says Zeke ran really good. Zeke had a couple of good runs. I will give him that. But in my mind, Rico's the better player. Rico's the only guy that, when given opportunities and when he's given carries, he's looked like a running back one. He's the only guy. Versus a good Pittsburgh defense, he looks like the only guy that looks like a running back one in this situation. And for him to be the one that's inactive reeks of nonsense, conspiracy, Illuminati, politics, rollover respect, and rollover seniority. Let's just say Rico was sick. I've played football before. I've had to play football sick before. I've had to play football really sick before. And then we see the videos of Rico walking around pregame. He didn't look as sick enough to where he couldn't play. Rico didn't look as sick enough as Rico couldn't play. It reeked of politics. And if you run all over the internet, you run all over social medias, you feel like people all kind of had the same idea. Hey, man, something fishy here. I smell something fishy, man. I smell something fishy here. And I think that's really the vibe that we kind of been getting all year, man. Like this feels unserious. This feels like something that we shouldn't really lean on for real. Like we shouldn't put our 100% fandom into this. It feels like this. Capital Floyd says this is some Rico fanboy vibes. I don't care who's running. Sir, you sound goofy. What you mean Rico fanboy vibes? He's the better running back. What you mean? It just looked like you saying anything. Rico's clearly the best back on this team. How was he the one that went inactive? So if that's how this thing is going, let's just see what the game feels like. Let's just see what happens here. If we're just gonna acquiesce to whatever little nonsense is going on, then cool. Let's see what happens in the game. Chat, your defense gave you their best attempt. The defense fought its best fight. I think with the performance that the defense gave you, I think you could have won this game. I think with the performance that this defense gave you, I think you could have won the game. They gave up 21 points in the third quarter. You can't have that. But I think for the most part, the defense kept you in the game. You get a goofy little turnover right here. 4 wasn't perfect. We'll talk about it. 4 was bad. We'll talk about it. You get a goofy little turnover here. San Fran gets some more points. I get that. But I think for the most part, for what we thought was going to happen with that offense and that run game, even though they're on running back 4 and 5, Jordan Mason and Isaac Guerrero, and look, we still gave up 2 minute rushing yards, to be fair. Even though they on running back 4 and 5, I still feel like that defense did enough to win you the game. But your offense was incredibly goofy this day. It is what it is. I think the coaching staff, and we'll just start with Mike McCarthy or whatever. I think that's most important. I don't think your coaches have a good understanding of the limitations of your quarterback here. I don't think your coaches have an understanding of the limitations of your quarterback here. I think Dak Prescott is a lot closer to Jared Goff, Kirk Cousins than he is Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen. I just think that makes sense to me. And when you watch film of the Falcons, because I've done that, they don't ask Kirk Cousins to do a whole bunch of stuff that he can't do. If you watch film of the Lions, they don't ask Jared Goff to do a whole bunch of stuff that he's not good at. If you look at how the Cowboys run offense, they clearly expect Dak Prescott to be some kind of Superman. And he's not that. Mike McCarthy calls plays. Let's just keep it a buck here. Mike McCarthy called plays as if Dak Prescott's Aaron Rodgers. But he's not. Dak Prescott has his limitations. I do think Dak Prescott's a really good quarterback because the majority of his career, we've seen that. Most of his career, we've seen that. But something feels to be different here. I feel a desperation when Mike McCarthy's calling plays, like a Dak save me. But Mike McCarthy still want to keep enough control to say he's doing it. But he's still trying to go, hey, Dak, pull us out of this. Dak ain't the quarterback to pull you out of this. He's not the guy to go win it by himself. I don't think this is a roster that's adequate enough for Dak Prescott to win with. And I know there's been some people in the past that have gone, well, boy, Dak got 3 good receivers and a good offensive line and a good tight end, boy. What else does he need to be good? And to be fair, when Dak Prescott has those things, he's really good. Just like when Jalen Hurts has those things, he's really good. When Jared Goff has those things, he's really good. When Matt Stafford has those things, he's really good. But if you're rolling out Jalen Tolbert, Kevontae Turpin, Jalen Brooks, Terrence Steele, Tyler Guyton, I don't want to be told so guy about Tyler Guyton, nothing like that. Some people was tagging me and they was like, yo, Voch, you was right about Tyler Guyton. I still think it's a bit early to be all that. Dak is not good enough to overcome Terrence Steele being bad versus Nick Bosa. Dak Prescott is not good enough to overcome his play caller looking at Terrence Steele versus Nick Bosa and going, yeah, we're not going to help Terrence Steele. We're going to leave Terrence Steele over there by himself 70+% of the time by himself versus Nick Bosa. Dak's not good enough to overcome that. Dak may be good enough to overcome like 4 good offensive linemen with like Cam Fleming or something. But he's not good enough to overcome 2 tackles and a right guard being bad. He can't do it. He's not that guy. He's not that guy. Melvin Goldman, fantastic point. Segway Jones, I was moving right to you. Why won't Dak run anymore? Let's keep it a buck. Dak's not a runner anymore. Dak ain't a runner no more. Boy, Mississippi State Dak was a long time ago. A long time ago. How about this? Do you recognize any of these names? I know a lot of you do, but hey, Dak Prescott threw a pass to De'Rania Wilson and the Mississippi State beat LSU and Les Miles was pissed off. Do you sound how old that sentence sounds? Do you hear how old that sentence sounds? Dak Prescott ain't been a good runner in a minute since he's been hurt. Dak's not that guy. But if I'm the play caller, I got to be like, hey, man, I can't be sprinting my right-handed quarterback that can't run to the left while my left tackle's having challenges over there. We can't do it. Can't do it. Brandon J says he was scrambling last year, Voch, but what does Dak look like when he's running this year? I don't know. I think that means something. I think this means something, you know? How many weeks of Guyton having the exact same issue? Nah, Guyton's been bad since he's been here. Guyton had a pretty good practice versus Michael Parsons that went viral, but Guyton's been bad since he's been here. That's honest. It is what it is. So with this new information, and mind you, I'm not a coach, I'm just a dude with a camera and a microphone. So with this new information, we have to look at it like, okay, 4 can't do it by himself, 88 can't do it by himself, and just because 73 is good don't mean that 78 and 60 is good. At some point, your coach has to make some sort of adjustment and go, all right, bro, 78 getting killed out there. I got to do something different. 60's getting killed out there. I got to do something. 4 can't carry this by himself. We've got to do something. And look, this how I know Mike McCarthy goofy a little bit. This how I know Mike McCarthy a little goofy a little bit. We see flashes of Mike McCarthy doing shit to help you. And did you hear what I said?
Did you hear what I said?
We see flashes of Mike McCarthy being competent. We see flashes. Like, we got some little nonsense motion over there, but we ran some motion that meant something. I know we run into zones all the time, but there was a couple of times we ran in zones with purpose. I know we may BS a little rub route and the timing a little goofy, but there's sometimes we run our little rub routes perfectly. There are some times that we do it. There are some times where we help Terrence Steele. There are some times that we help Tyler Guyton. There are some times that our run scheme looks nice. But the problem is we don't do it again. We may do it one time, but we don't do it again. We may do it here or there, but we don't do it again. How we could look trash the whole Ravens game, but then all of a sudden, look, and I don't just chalk this up to prevent defense. Prevent defense, in my mind, you got to be up by like 3 scores or something. You got to be up like 3 scores or something, in my mind, to see prevent defense. I don't think the Ravens played prevent defense against you. I don't think San Francisco played prevent. The Saints was beating your ass, and they played some prevent defense against you. I think you can do some things to get yourself open. We just don't do it all the time. We just don't do it all the time. I think early in this game, I think we had a good feel for when to run the football. Early in this game, I think we had a good feel of when to run this football. And look, chat, y'all know I could be standoffish about a lot of shit, but I'm a Cowboy fan at the end of the day. When Zeke gets touched and he gains another 3 yards, I'm proud of Zeke for doing that. I'm proud of Zeke for doing that. And I think a lot of that was running the football at the right time. When the 49ers give you a look and we make a call based off that look and we run the football and it looks a little solid and we get a couple of yards and they try to touch Zeke and Zeke gives you another 4, this works. The second half, all of a sudden, you running into looks and it don't make sense again. You trying to cut off people that you don't have the leverage to cut people off again. Our run scheme is like we got Bijan Robinson. It's, Bijan to carry us. Man, we ain't got Bijan Robinson, bro. We got Ezekiel Elliott. We got Dalvin Cook, Deuce Vaughn, and Rico inactive. We don't call running plays like our running backs are bad. We call running plays like our running backs are really good and they're going to bail us out. We don't call passing plays like our receivers can't get open. We call passing plays like we just going to get the ball to CeeDee Lamb and hope he takes care of the rest of this. We don't call plays to get Turpin open in a very exotic way. We call, all right, Turpin, run this 9 route and outrun somebody, and it worked one time. Or Turpin, get this jet sweep. Or Turpin, just kind of run this little thing and we'll dump it off to you. We don't creatively get Turpin involved. We get Turpin involved and we expect Turpin to just outperform coaching expectation or whatever. Is that a damn PFF number? Yards over coaching nonsense. Yards over expected coaching nonsense. Is that a damn PFF analytic number? How many times do we see them get the ball to Jake Ferguson short and Jake Ferguson takes that and do a little yak thing with it? And we go, oh, man, we should definitely go to Jake Ferguson a little more. And we don't. Let me tell y'all something, man. And a lot of people could be like, well, but Voch, they're trying to take Jake Ferguson away or they're trying to take CeeDee Lamb away. Cool. I know they're trying to take CeeDee Lamb away, but you have to find a way to get CeeDee Lamb going, just like you did. I know that they're trying to take Jake Ferguson away, but when you play Kansas City, they try to take Kelsey away. We tried to take Kittle away. We made an attempt to take Kittle away. But what they do, adjust. Hey man, we're gonna put Kittle on Donovan, and we're gonna run him over right there. And they do it a couple times too. They do it a couple times so you can stop it. And when you stop it, they make another adjustment. Dak Prescott played horribly. Because this team and this coach is expecting Dak Prescott to be something that he's not. Now, let me address something I saw in the chat earlier. They was like, "Well, Voch, why do you pay $60 million a year for Dak Prescott? Because that's just the cost of doing business." I feel like I have a very educated audience, and I love y'all to pieces. But it befuddles me that we still having this conversation about quarterbacks and their money. It befuddles me that we still having conversations about quarterbacks and their money. I'm confused. I'm lost that we still having conversations about quarterbacks and their money. I don't know. It is what that's the cost of doing business. Trevor Lawrence getting paid. Deshaun Watson got paid. Deshaun Watson contract a little worse than ours, but he got paid. All the goofy quarterbacks that aren't good this year got paid. They get paid. Daniel Jones they get paid. That's what happens is business. They get paid. Shaq says Vikings told Kirk Cousins to kick pebbles after Vikings paid Kirk Cousins for years. Years. There are some outliers, of course. Sam Darnold playing fine, but Sam Darnold got a ceiling. Baker Mayfield's playing great, but Baker Mayfield got a ceiling. Geno Smith has played well, but Geno got a ceiling. Just as much as y'all mad at Dak, you'll be mad at them. Baker Mayfield out here throwing picks too. It is what it is. It's about pieces around him, man. It's about pieces around him. They got a phenomenal wide receiver core in Tampa, a phenomenal wide receiver core in Atlanta. It's a cool wide receiver core in Atlanta. They got a good wide receiver core in Atlanta. I'm tripping, yeah, sure. They got a phenomenal wide receiver core in Seattle. Man, we got a cool little receiving core, dog. You got to put guys around guys. You got to put players around these players. You win this game with horses. Dak Prescott is not a superhero, but you got to pay him $60 million because that's how I go. And in 3 years, when everybody making $75 million, we're going to look at this $60 million like, oh, man, Dak Prescott ain't getting paid no money for real. It's part of the game. I'm surprised we still explaining this. I'm surprised. The difference is we're the only team that moves around like the salary cap can't be manipulated. Did you hear what I said? We're the only team that do this. Keeping the buck with you. Because all these other teams that got paid quarterbacks, that's not stopping them from going to get help. The Falcons paid some guys, and then they went to go get some more guys. The Jets add some more guys. They ain't winning, but they add some more guys. The Jags added some more guys. Our problem is that the Cowboys just aren't adding more guys. That's the problem. Melvin says, don't we have cap space? Not only do we have cap space, but there are teams that are way in the negatives that are making more acquisitions than us. That's the problem. We can get a lot of people to come in here. We can get a lot of people to come in here and help the situation, but our GM don't know the tricks like them, though. Our GM don't know all the superpowers like the other teams do. I guess. I don't know. Lack of adjustments. You know, when the 49ers make an adjustment, we just don't make adjustments after they make adjustments. When the 49ers making adjustments, I think we opened up the game really well. We went up 10-0. And look, I feel like the 49ers gave you an opportunity to beat them earlier. I feel like they gave you an opportunity to really put your foot on their throat and beat them. But we didn't execute. We didn't execute. We went up by 10, but we didn't execute. And you let them dudes adjust and foot race your ass. It became a foot race, and you had to make another adjustment, but you didn't. Offense and defense, you did not make another adjustment to them, and they ended up kicking your ass. I know the ending score was close. I feel like we got blown out though. Blowed it out. My subjects and verbs don't agree. But I feel like we got blown out. I don't know. We're gonna watch the film on Patreon later and talk some more about it. And we're really gonna look at scheme and play call and all this kind of stuff. I really want to look at what plays did we call. I want to know why we were good when we were good. I want to know why we were bad when we were bad. So we'll do that later on. Probably right after this. Patreon.com/vochlombardi. Let me know. They scored first. Game was a blur. I'm gonna watch the film later. Game was a blur. But I'll tap back in on that later. Y'all got any questions, chat? I'm gonna go into the phones, man. Do I got my number up? Yeah, call into the show. We doing phones today. Tap in with me. I think CeeDee Lamb played fine. He got going. I think Jalen Tolbert did as good as Jalen Tolbert could do. Cool. I don't think Jalen Brooks is giving you anything. I think Turpin did some cool stuff on teams or whatever. I think Turpin got to have that deep ball over on the side there. Your wide receiver, your wide receiver room as a whole, it could use some help. But I don't think we're gonna be. And look, I think that's another conversation we're gonna have too. The fact that this trade deadline is coming up, I don't think we should do anything. I think we should just hold on our assets because I don't think there's a way that we can make a trade or two to fix all of our problems when we got like 8 or 9 problems, especially when the coach acting goofy or whatever. I don't think that there's nothing we can do to fix this thing. We just got to play the rest of the season out. Draft season, I'm not quitting per se. I just don't have faith in Mike like that. Who would you rather have, Tyron or Tyler Guyton right now? I don't think Tyron's playing well, but he got to be playing better than Tyler Guyton. Tyler Guyton ain't playing good at all. Does Solari just suck? I think this offensive line has been taking steps backwards the past couple of years, and I don't think it just has to do with rookie play or anything like that. I just think it just looks bad from all sides of it. Running the ball, passing the ball, whatever. I think it just looks bad all the way around. Has any offensive lineman gotten better under Solari? I don't know. But like I said, on the Patreon, we'll definitely be looking at that. So tap in with me. We'll see. What else? Ferguson was fine when you threw. Chat, what did y'all think of Dalvin Cook? I know when Dalvin Cook ran the football, he wasn't necessarily great. I don't know what the blocking was or whatever. I'm gonna look at that in a little bit. But I feel like there was an opportunity for us to kind of throw Dalvin Cook the football. I think we threw the ball to Zeke a lot when we should have been throwing the ball to Dalvin Cook. I thought we saw a little bit of burst when we did throw the ball to Dalvin Cook. We just didn't keep doing it. I would love to know the idea of us doing something and looking good doing it and not doing it no more. I would love to know the answers behind that. I would love to know the answers behind, hey, what would happen if Schottenheimer called plays and like, does Schottenheimer have an idea of what your quarterback can and cannot do? What your running backs can and cannot do? What your wide receivers can and cannot do? I know I'm just a dude with a microphone and a camera, but another one of our draft babies started going crazy yesterday. Isaac Guerrero, who's like running back 5. Christian McCaffrey. There's running back 2. I forgot his name. We don't even see him no more, but there's running back 2. I know. There's Jordan Mason, who's running back 3. Isaac Guerrero is running back 4, and their running back 4, I believe, got more yards on the year than Zeke does. I could be wrong. I think Isaac Guerrero on the year got more rushing yards than Zeke does this year. I could be wrong. But Jordan Mason came out. Isaac Guerrero started going there and kicking your ass too, boy. Like the the run defense is an issue. And okay, let's just go ahead and get into it, chat. I don't think Donovan or Malik are very good anymore. Even though I feel like, and look, if y'all was here and you don't miss shows and you took notes during class, because I had a feeling that it was going to be on the test, I felt like Donovan Wilson wasn't going to be great in coverage. I felt like I felt like what Zimmer was going to do was going to require more coverage ability from his safeties. And I didn't think that Donovan Wilson was going to be able to do that. I always feel like Donovan Wilson was going to be a solid rundown guy. And look, we all know Donovan Wilson will come up and hit somebody. But boy, Donovan Wilson ain't good in coverage. And I don't think he's been good in coverage. So not only are you bad versus the run, but your safeties can't help you in coverage. And that might be why Trey's looking funny in coverage. I know we're doing bad at cornerback too, but does the cornerback two get worse when your safety? And look, cornerback two, Armani Oruwariye, the second corner, that's Donovan's side. So we twice his ass over there. 2 times. It does. And a part of me feels like, hey man, I think Wanye was one of the only players that had a little bit of fight. Like Wanye kicked off the fight. He showed a little bit of dog in him. Marquise Bell is a dog. We know Marquise Bell is a dog. We know Marquise Bell covers better than Dono. We know that the second team of safeties cover better than the first team of safeties. But is it rollover seniority and rollover respect? Is it politics as usual, just like the running back situation? Just like the running back situation, huh? Hey, y'all go ahead and call into the show, man. 202-926-112. Hold on, I don't even know if that's the number. Hold on. 202-926-1127. Access code 309104. Ladies and gentlemen, I see no benefit in what the Cowboys do for us. The Cowboys do nothing but take. They don't give nothing back. As much as we invest something into the Cowboys, they may not give it back to us. Can't say the same about Prize Picks though. Shouts out to Prize Picks, man, the leader in daily fantasy sports. It is easy. You download the Prize Picks app. You go to prizepicks.com, whatever you would like to do. Pick a sport, any sport that you are good at, that you have knowledge in. NFL, NBA, MLB, hockey, college football, soccer, women's basketball, whatever you want to do. They got Counter-Strike. Find you a sport that you are good at. Take a look at the players and their projected stats. Pick 2 to 6 players. And pick more or less. For example, the football week is kind of over, but we still got Monday Night Football. We have Pittsburgh versus the New York Giants. Hey, if y'all looked at Russell Wilson last week and y'all feel like Russell Wilson somehow rolled out the bed and got better as a passer, and you feel like versus the bad Giants pass defense he'll throw for more than 205.5 yards, then click more for Russell Wilson. I think Russell Wilson been phony for a couple of years, and I think that George Pickens bailed him out a little bit, and I think there's no way that he can replicate the good passing game that he did last week, so I'll pick less. And if you feel like Najee Harris can rush a little bit, you go ahead and click Najee Harris too. If you want to try to win a little more money, you go around and be like, oh, yeah, I know Greg Joseph will make plenty of field goals because the Giants ain't going to score. But even if you feel like the Giants are going to kick more field goals, but Malik Neighbors got to get into the end zone, hey, man, go ahead and pick Neighbors too. So just in this 4, I could take this lineup, I can play $20, and I can win $336 if I get these guys correct. That's what Prize Picks will do for you. My latest lineup, because I always try to do 6 and I always try to hit big. I made a play for $56. But Prize Picks will hold you down in the event somebody gets hurt. This happened last week. In the event somebody gets hurt, Jaden Daniels got hurt a little bit. So they was like, you know what, Voch, we're not going to take all your money. Jaden Daniels got hurt. So we'll give you a little something back. Prize Picks wants to see you win. All you got to do is go to Prize Picks and use code Voch, VOCH, Voch. And when you play $5, they'll give you 50 instantly. Okay? Go to Prize Picks. Let's just say you deposit about $10. You play 5 Prize Picks, will give you 50 back instantly. All right? They're the leader in daily fantasy sports. Prize Picks, appreciate you so much for supporting Voch Lombardi Live podcast. You hear me? Thank you. Let's get into the phones, man. See what y'all talking about. Let's get into the phones, man. See what y'all talking about, man. Let's see who we got up here first. Let's go Brandon from Houston. Let's see what he's saying. What's up, Brandon?
Hey, what's going on, Voch?
Let's go with your player.
Man, rough weekend. It's hard to see what, we got 10 games left. I don't know if there's a way we can go 7-3, make something interesting, but just to let you know, man, we're riding all the way, Voch. If we got to go to draft season or whatever, we're riding, and, we can make our money on Prize Picks, do some player props and stuff. At least get our money out of it each week. So, try to do the best we can, man. Very much, we're running verticals with 5'9" Turpin. That's our secret weapon against San Francisco. Voch. Like,
on the outside,
that's Mike McCarthy. He took a whole fucking bye week to be like, "Yep, Turpin vertical. That's going to kill him."
Yeah. On the outside too. And then look, Brandon, appreciate you, Brandon. And then look, Brandon, I don't mind deep balls to Turpin, right? Because we have had success throwing the ball deep to Turpin. Like last year versus San Francisco. Turpin had the only touchdown last year, but it was a corner working to the outside from inside, or like a deep crossing route. Or a couple of weeks ago versus Giants, I think it was Turpin Turpin on the inside working the seams. I like the deep ball to Turpin, but Turpin on the sideline running out of space, the 9 route with arms and bodies around him. Dak had to be a superhero to even hit Turpin in the mouth. And Turpin, even though he can be deep threat guy, I never looked at Turpin as like the super best ball tracky guy. So for him to be ball tracky guy in traffic, I think that's asking a lot of Kevontae Turpin, but maybe that's just me. T from the DMV, what up?
Hey, Voch, what's going on?
What's good with your player?
Ain't nothing much, man. This is Tance LaTrance. I'll be in the chat sometime, but
okay.
I just had one question I wanted to ask you about that.
What's up?
Man, do you think that this was always Mike McCarthy and Dak was kind of just balling out last year because he was a little more mobile? He was using his legs. He was getting out of pocket, doing a lot of stuff off script. And now it just seems like Dak don't want to move as much. He don't want to run as much. But this was Mike the whole time. These are the same plays, same schemes, same stuff from last year. It's just the mobile factor was more of a factor.
I think when you watch, or just rather if you look at some of the best coaches in the league, I think they're constantly evolving. Ben Johnson talks about it. Shanahan talks about it. Matt LaFleur talks about it. They're constantly evolving. They're constantly stealing plays. Mike McCarthy called the same plays that he's been calling for the past since he started taking over. Mike's calling the same plays. And when you do it and it's not on film, I imagine that you can look good doing it. Like when Kellen Moore was first calling plays, Kellen Moore was looking ridiculous. He was looking fantastic. But when they adjusted Kellen Moore had to make another adjustment, and Kellen Moore wasn't making adjustments. So he was figured out. Mike McCarthy, his first time calling plays, hey, it looked fantastic. But when you put film out on it, Mike McCarthy has to make these adjustments, and he just didn't make adjustments. So I think Mike McCarthy's offense is figured out, and instead of stealing plays or getting inspiration from other teams, I just think Mike McCarthy's going to keep calling his plays, and teams are just going to keep figuring it out.
Gotcha. That was my only question. And I noticed last night around the third quarter there was like a key moment, and it just seemed like it was too big for Mike. Like the camera kind of panned to him. It looked like he was kind of getting tight. Like he just kind of returns to form and runs the same basic stuff, you know?
That happens to Mike all the time. I call it getting nervous, but it is what it is. Appreciate you, Big Dog.
All right, man.
Hey, no chat. And look, we say it as a joke, but we not lying. When we look at Mike McCarthy, sometimes you could tell when he's getting nervous. You could tell when he's comfortable, and you can tell. And it's always the big games. It's always the big games versus these winning teams. Mike McCarthy goes right back. He's just like Tyler Guyton. You just go back to what you know, even though what you know ain't working. And we're begging you to make changes. We're begging you to make changes. Letting you know that your play is not working. They get nervous.
The conference has been locked.
We got a good amount of callers. I appreciate y'all. Big A, what up?
How you doing, Voch?
What's up, player? What you got for the show?
Real quick, I got 2 points and I'll get out of here real quick.
Yes, sir.
First point I got is I think personally, I mean, granted, I'm probably just gonna reiterate what everyone else is feeling at right now with the coaching, but I think really at the end of the day, because I don't feel like, because I know when we talk about going into the off season, all the changes we're gonna make personnel wise, and there are personnel moves we need to make. I still don't feel like this roster is that bad. I feel like it's really just like if you can get a good coaching staff who can do all the things they want to do when it comes to adjustments and scheme and just a mission statement and a proper mission statement. I feel like this team, because I feel like you have guys here to do that. Granted, now maybe we might have misjudged some of them, but I feel like the guys, it's not like we're the Panthers roster where it's like it's bone dry and you got a lot of mistakes you got to fill. I don't feel like you have that many holes to cover. I feel like if you have a good coach with good play calling, it can cover a lot of the holes that we have. We just don't have it right now.
Sure.
And then the other thing I have is, oh, sorry.
No, please, go ahead.
Oh, my bad. The other thing I wanted to get in real quick, because I know for a lot of people, they're big on the whole, like, oh, I know a lot of people are big on the whole, like, let's get rid of Micah Parsons thing. And personally speaking, I just got to get off my chest that I feel like it's a very hypocritical. I won't say hypocritical. I feel like it's very weird that we can universally we don't agree or we don't trust the Joneses when it comes to making player transactions. Like, we don't trust them. Like, they're very old school, they're very archaic and conservative in that approach. But yet we have this belief system as if them trading Micah Parsons they're gonna maximize the trade value out of Micah.
You find
it ironic they traded a player.
You find it ironic that somebody could even think that way. I got you.
Yes. Yeah. Because the last player we traded, Amari Cooper. We traded Amari Cooper when he was 27? He was in his prime, 27. We got a 5th pick out of it. The Browns traded him at 30, and they were able to at least get a 3 to the Bills. And yet we think that we're going to get like this 2 first-round pick, massive Herschel Walker type overhaul off of Micah. And I'm like, no, you're probably going to get like a 2nd or a 3rd and keep it. And we're going to be sitting here complaining about how that's all we got for him. And I just think it's ludicrous. Yeah. So I'd rather keep him than trade him.
Yeah. I feel you, my guy. Good call, Big A. Appreciate you, bro. We going to talk about this. We're going to talk about this real fast here. Nah, dog, you can't trade Mike for 23. You can't trade you at least gonna get a first and some change. Like, if it's Micah prior to getting his contract signed or whatever, you're gonna get a first and some change, maybe multiple. Like, we've seen, like, Brian Burns got a first for him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Nah. Yeah, nah. Micah gonna get at least a 1 and some other stuff. But just don't trade Micah. Just don't trade Micah at all. We got Joe Sandberg calling to the Franklin and Frankel phones. Let's see what Joe talking about. What up, Joe? Fix your headphones, Joe. Fix your headphones. Fix your headphones, Joe. Fix your headphones.
Okay. Okay, you hear me now?
There you go, Joe. What's good with you, player?
Good. One question: why would anybody trade Michael Parsons just get worse at pass rusher?
You would definitely create a humongous look. That's your only pass rusher that you got faith in right now. You would be trading him for sure, 100%.
And secondly, I really need to overhaul that safety room. It was tragic.
Joe,
not only are you playing
Joe, let me ask you a question.
Donovan Wilson.
Let me ask you a question, Joe.
Donovan Wilson.
Yeah, let me ask you a question. Joe, do you think you need to overhaul the safety room, or do you think you just need to cut some fat from the safety room?
Both.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, please tell me why. I'm sorry.
Yeah, because not only are you playing Donovan Wilson further away from the line of scrimmage, that makes him worse. Because he's more like Cam Chancellor or Jamal Adams. The more you ask him to do what he's not good at, of course he's not going to look good. Hooker looks like below average out there. Doesn't have the ball skills he used to have.
But they got paid, Joe.
He looks lost.
They got paid, though, Joe.
Well, I think Donovan only has like 1 year left on his deal.
Sure. Donovan can get moved on from. And honestly, when you hear Jerry talk about, yeah, we all in for this year, and I think I was talking to Brian, I believe. I think restarting for the Cowboys mean like if we were to restart this thing, then we're moving on from everybody that's not a core piece. And one day I want to do a show. Where we break down like coaching change proof players that are safe from coaching changes, right? If we get a new coach, Donovan and Malik ass is gone. So why not move on from now? Go ahead, Joe.
And secondly, I'm not. Well, it seems like to me, coaching is now a younger man's game.
Sure.
Why can't we do this?
Because the Jerry Jones, the GM wants a head coach that got skins on the wall. You hear him and Steven talk about this all the time. They want a player with skins. They want a coach with skins on the wall. They want a coach with experience. I mean, that's cool. And you end up with this old coach that has won a Super Bowl before. But I ain't really trying to get a coach that just old but's been to like Mike Fox is a coach with skins on the wall. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you don't just want him to be head coach. You know what I'm saying? Like get one of these young guys with something to prove. Not a coach that's won something. Like I think coaches that win something get a little lazy. I think they lose a little edge a little bit. I think they lose a little edge, man. Get you somebody that's fighting to go win something.
Hey, I got a name for you then. That fits the mold of all of that. Slovic from the Texans.
Sure. Bobby Slowick, Ben Johnson. John Fox, my bad. I said Mike Fox. John Fox. If Clint Kubiak want to just be an offense coordinator in a different place, if Joe Brady want to be an offense coordinator in a different place, I'll take it. For sure.
And one thing I noticed, like all these teams that are shaping up to take a playoff spot, all these dudes have multiple receivers that are actually going off one way or another. They're skating up and stuff. They happen to have a tight end that they're using pretty cool as well. Why did we think this was such a good idea just to go out there with CeeDee Lamb's fantastic, Tolbert's all right, but you never, because you promise you don't have, there's a big talent gap between CD, Tolbert, and even like even a slightly average person would be a little bit above Tolbert. Just my opinion.
Yeah, I feel you. I think Tolbert has been slightly cool. I think he's been slightly cool, but I still would like Tolbert to be better. Yo, Joe, I appreciate you, man. Good call, dog. Salute. Salute. Somebody asked Voch, how much is the Patreon? The Patreon is for people that just want to support the show and they just want to show thanks to Voch or whatever. The YouTube is, free, I know. But if you want to give $1, you can get into the Patreon. If you want to give $5, $10, whatever you want to do to support, you can do it. And over on the Patreon, we watch film. I'm going to go over there today, and we're going to be watching Offense today. So tap into the Patreon, patreon.com/vochlombardi. And of course, we're going to be dropping film on the YouTube or whatever. Begrudgingly dropping film on the YouTube, but you'll get a lot more film on the Patreon. Chat, give me 35 seconds. I'll be right back. Don't go nowhere. Count it down. 30 seconds in the chat right now. Count. All right. My bad, y'all. Had to go get my lunch real quick. You know what I'm saying? We trying to get back right. Hey, let's get back to the Frankel and Frankel phones. Let's see what 336 got to say. Let's see what they talking about. 336, what up?
How you doing?
What's good with you?
I'm up first. This is my first time on your show. You're a big dog. I want to give a salute to you. I've been on Steel Show. I've been on Lord Nation. But you the man. I love what you're doing. I love how you break down the tape and everything. I just got 3 questions, but before I say that, I wanted to give you a salute.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you, man. That mean the world to me, man. Appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. And look, first off, I want to say this. The safety is terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Wilson is terrible. Yeah. He got number 6 on his jersey. He was getting beat all night. They knew when they see him, they could score. That was easy. Number 2. They talk about Tarver. Tarver is not great. But sometimes you got to get a scheme that can make these receivers look better. Yep. When you look at Mahomes, he don't have great receiver, but the scheme is great to make the receivers look good where they can get open. When you look at the game last night or every game that we play, we can't get no separation. I can tell what they was doing before they do it. We don't have no scheme to get the wide receiver open, so it make them look below average. So that's on the coaching. Number 3, I forgot his name, but we had the best offensive line coach. It was years ago,
Callahan.
And we let him go to the Redskins.
Callahan.
Yeah, Callahan was the best, and we let him get away. And I remember a guy was on here, and he said, should we overhaul it? Man, ain't nothing on this roster really good. If you notice, all this roster right here is the ones who didn't even start last year when Dan Quinn was there. So now we playing backups as our starter. And that's what we got. And then you got a coach that's not even a good coach. To me, he's below average. With players that's a little bit above or below average, and with a couple of great players on the team. So that's what we got right there. Disaster. And I want to ask you something.
Please.
I want to ask you something, Voch.
Please.
What do you think about this team? Do you think we'll win 2 more games? Because when I look at it, I don't even see us winning 2 more. Looking at the schedule, what's your opinion?
Man, I think it's going to be tough. I have some optimism because I think we've played the toughest of defenses that we ever gonna play, right? Like the hardest defenses that we're gonna play, we didn't already play them. So 49ers, Ravens, Steelers, I think that's as hard as it gets, and we've done solidly versus them. So what I can hope for, and look, I don't think this is gonna happen, but what I can hope for, because you do have some good offenses on the way, I think Mike McCarthy has got to relinquish play calling. I think he got to go back to whatever it was he was doing last year that was working. He's got to figure out a way to get back to that. I think the Falcons defense, I think you can get over on them. The Eagles defense, the Texans defense is solid, but I don't think that they better than Pittsburgh, San Fran, Baltimore, Washington Football, Wizards, Giants, Bengals, Panthers. Those are all terrible defenses I think you can take advantage of. So this is as optimistic as I can get. And y'all know I'm optimistic good news guy. I'm optimistic good news guy. You're gonna have to hope. You're gonna have to hope that we go on a series of shootouts, games like the Seahawks last year, 57-42. We're gonna have to win games like that moving forward. It ain't looking like we're gonna be able to do it, but that's how you're gonna have to do it moving forward, man.
Do you believe that we can do that? Do you believe Dak checked out like he ain't feeling it? Do you feel like we can play with that Washington team that's looking pretty good?
Hell
the offensive line.
But I tell you what, I'm a root for my guys though. I'm a root for my guys.
Me too.
But if this how we rolling it out, it don't look good for us. It don't look good.
I would say this. I ain't gonna hold you up, but this is the first time I've been on your show, and I've been trying to get on here, man. And I'm so happy that I got on here just to be able to speak to you. You the big dog of all of them. Tell Foots the king that you the big dog. He a big dog too, but he ain't the big dog like you. I told Steele, I gave a shout out on Steele to you, and I gave a shout out Lord Nation to you. Yeah. Keep doing the good work, man. I appreciate being on here.
What's your name, bro?
My name's Jamir.
All right, I'm gonna put you down as Josh. So next time you call in, I got you in the system, man. Appreciate you, bro.
Okay, I appreciate you too, man.
Yes, sir. Hey, shouts out to Josh for all the kind words, everything that he said, man. It means the world to me. Hey, man, look, Will still my guy, man. Law Nation, my guy. You know, those are my guys. I am better than Foots. Nah, I'm playing, man. Shouts out to Foots too, man. Foots know he my guy. Foots know that though. Let me tell you something. Yeah, we miss Callahan. Yeah, we miss Callahan. We miss Linehan. We miss Chris Richard. We don't miss Mike Nolan. That's kind of, I don't know. Mike Nolan and Mike Zimmer right now Spider-Man memeing right now. But man, we miss Kellen Moore. We miss Dan Quinn. I miss Jason Garrett.
Did you hear what I said?
We missing them all, dog. We missing them all. We don't miss Linehan shit. We can run the ball with Linehan. Hey, look, we was one-dimensional as hell, but we could run the ball with Linehan. At least we can run the ball with Linehan. I miss Kellen Moore and Dan Quinn. Look, we ain't had these problems. They wasn't bad. They just wasn't perfect. They wasn't perfect. Let me sum it up for you, Voch. Dak is whack. Face it. It's him. It's always been him. Y'all know something interesting about Dak? The way this is trending, right? Let's just say that we go full-blown trash this year. You know, this will be Dak's first losing season. Like, this will be Dak's first losing season. I don't know, man. It's always been Dak. 409, what's up? Who this?
This is Dexter. What's up, baby?
What's good with your point, Dexter? What you got for the show?
Man, first off, I just wanted to tell you, man, you are doing a great job, man. I've seen you on with Brian Brothers, and man, I don't miss y'all podcast. You know, you have a lot of good information, man. I like how y'all go back and forth. You know, if my name is Jerry Jones, I'll give you a job. You hear what I'm saying?
Yeah. Appreciate it.
I see you on the studio show, man. I don't know what was it, DLLS or whatever.
Yeah.
And so, you know, look, man, you out there doing something a little different out there, man, and you look good doing it. And hey, man, keep up the good work, man. You know, stay on them network podcasts. You know, do your thing, man.
Appreciate you.
I'm real proud of what you're doing, man. You know, you just talked about Dak Prescott, man. Dak didn't have a good game, man, but if we didn't have Dak, we wouldn't have really anything. You know, the frustration that we're feeling right now, you know, we felt this frustration way back in March. You know, we've seen the moves that could have been made and stuff, and then the injuries hit us. You know, you think of what we would have if we had a defense with, you know, a healthy Sam Williams, Michael Parsons, Ron Bland, and safeties, man, you are right about the safeties. Why we don't make a change, I have no idea. You know, number 27, he's out on the field, man. You know, you got 27, you got Wilson. And I'm looking, I'm like, why not one day and McCollum? You know, it's like,
sure.
Let's do something else, man. What you're doing is not working. You do something else. But I think the coaches come in, and the first thing Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones is say, hey, man, here's a NBA I need you to sign. You hear what I'm saying? You know, we going to take them balls, man, put them in a little box, and we're going to put them over here. Now you go out there and do your job. You hear what I'm saying?
Sure. I feel you.
But, man, look, you know, you think what this team would be if we had Amari Cooper, if we had Tony Pollard. You know, it's like, I don't know why we think addition by subtraction always works. And we talk about having, you know, these young minds in there. Man, why would we corrupt some of these young coaches coming to Dallas, man? Why would we corrupt it? Why would we mess up their career? I don't think any young coach seeing the stuff that's happening in Dallas, man, really even want to come to Dallas.
Sure.
You hear what I'm saying?
Sure.
The problem is the front office. It's been there for 30 years, man. We're going to cheer for this team. I'm going to cheer for this team. You know, that's in my blood. That's how I was raised from 5 years old, you know, watching football. That's how I was raised. So I like having these, you know, I'm old school, so I like having these podcasts, man. I like being able to, you know, exchange thoughts with other Cowboy fans. Sure. You know, as frustrating as it might be, I still enjoy it, man, and I enjoy what you're doing and all the people that talk, you know, law and steel and all that. I love y'all personalities, man. I love that y'all can put some positive into this franchise with so many negative things going on that y'all can put the positive in it, man. Yeah. That's about all, and always I sign off with, how about them Cowboys?
Appreciate your point, Dexter. Good call, man. I just put you down platinum. Next time you call, I know it's you. Salute.
Salute.
That's funny. Shouts out to Point Dexter, man. Hey, man, we got to hang in there, bro. We gotta hang in there. Look, it sucked, but we got it. We gotta keep supporting, man. We gotta keep supporting it. It is what it is. I ain't gonna lie, man. I look big on camera. I be looking at DLLS, man. It must be one of their lenses, boy. They got me looking wide on that mug. Hey, it's all good, man. I gotta keep on losing. I gotta keep. It's gonna be a lot of camera work coming up soon. You know what I'm saying? More than just this camera. I'm gonna be in studio camera a lot coming up. So. We got to get right. We got to keep on getting to the goals. Got to keep getting to the goals. How about this though, chat? Here's something I had on my mind when Poindexter was talking or whatever, right? You know, we talking about paying the quarterback. And I said this earlier and I'll just kind of repeat it, but in a shorter way. I don't really think we should be complaining about the obvious getting paid situations, right? Like CeeDee Lamb got paid, it's obvious, bro. It ain't nothing we could. He got to get paid. Dak Prescott got to get paid. When it's time for Tyler Smith to come up, Tyler has to get paid. But moving forward, though, chat, some of these miscellaneous characters, I want to cut down. This is how you cut down on money. I would rather draft somebody than to pay a moderate amount of money to an just good dude. I think a way to change up the strategy is there are some Teflon people that got to get paid. Terrence Steele wouldn't get a payment from me. Dono wouldn't get payment from me. Malik wouldn't get payment from me. And I understand that they all look bad, and looking back on it, it looks worse. But damn, what did they do when they was playing solid to get paid anything? You know what I'm saying? Or anything that's worth like talking about for real. I remember J-Ron got paid. J-Ron wasn't going crazy like that. Eric Kendricks making $38, so he don't matter. You know, he don't really matter to me. But all these miscellaneous cats, bro. I ain't trying to get no more money to the miscellaneous crew. I'm out on that. You know? I'm out on the miscellaneous cats. Like, you know, it's gonna come time for Osa to get his money. Chat, I don't think I'm paying Osa. I don't think I'm paying Osa. I don't think he's done enough. I don't think, or rather, I don't think he's projected to. I don't think he, you know what I'm saying? No. And I do think Osa's a good player. I think Osa's a good player. But I don't think he's enough to tie your cap up too much. I don't think he's enough to tie your cap up too much. Would you consider D-Law miscellaneous? Man, D-Law might be miscellaneous, bro. D-Law might be miscellaneous, bro. I think Bland is a pay guy. I think Diggs normally is a pay guy. Chad, I can keep it a buck with you. I think Ferguson good, but I don't think he's special. I think Ferguson's real good, but I don't think he's special. I'd be careful about how much money I'm paying to Ferguson. I'd be careful with that. And I think Ferguson's good. But I don't think he's special. I think we did right with Dalton Schultz, right? Y'all remember Dalton Schultz wanted that money? Hey, look, we be mad at Stephen Jones. I kind of, you know, ride with him a little bit on some of this shit. Like, I ain't paying Dalton Schultz no damn what? I think Houston paid him like what, like 8 or something? Man, I'm keeping my 8. I'm gonna go draft me a. You crazy? Man, just keep drafting tight ends, bro. Just keep drafting them. What's another player that's just like regular that I wouldn't? Let's see. Quarterback, running backs. Rico Dowdle got brought back for like $1.5 million or something like that. Man, just draft me a dude. Zeke getting paid around here. I'd be damn. Man, look, I would have rolled with Nate Pete for the cheap before I brought Zeke ass back. I'd rather just take the L at running back and take Nate Pete for cheap than to give Zeke some more money. Tight ends, Ferg can go. O-line, Terrence can go. Honestly, Zach can go. Zach ain't been Teflon. I could just figure it out from there. BB is a draft pick. Tyler Smith is a stud. I think you got to pay Tyler Smith. Your left tackle, young guy. Whatever. Edge dudes. Hey, look, Sam ain't getting no second contract from me. If Sam want to come back for $38, we can talk with Sam. You know, linebackers, corners. Jordan Lewis happen to be your best corner right now. Jordan Lewis happen to be your best corner right now, and I think he's on a relatively team friendly deal. So I don't want to say nothing disparaging about Jordan Lewis. He ain't making a Pro Bowl or nothing. Sam can't hold my catfish sandwich. Chill out. No, I'm not. No, I'm not stopping on destroying your Dak narratives. I don't know what you're talking about. Sam got one more year in his rookie deal. Yeah. Sam, sure, but Sam is eligible for some bread, I believe. I think Osa's also eligible. I'm playing it out. I'm just playing it out. Hey, looking back on that Tyron Smith thing, I don't hate looking back. I don't hate it. If this is where we at and this is how we playing, man, boy, I just named some people, boy. I can get you $70 million all the people I just named, boy. All right, man, let's get into it, man. 720. Let's see what he say. 720. What's up? Who this?
What's up, Voch? My name's Mike.
What up, Mike?
First time calling in on the show, but I've called in the law a bunch of times. The nation of the law. You got a great show, man. Appreciate what you do. Great takes, smart guy. I got a couple things I saw that I think will address the issues we have.
Sure.
At least point them out, and then some solutions. So if you're cool with that, I'd like to drop that on you.
Please, what's up? What you got for me?
So the way I'm seeing it, this isn't on Dak. And then I think people are blaming McCarthy. Like, I'm not going to give McCarthy credit because the play calling hasn't been great. But I think the big issue, first off, we don't have a run game, so our run scheme's trash. I don't like the blocking scheme because you're always asking guys that are out-leveraged and out of position to block guys that have leverage in position to make the play without the running back looking for a cutback quick. So I think that's terrible. That's our first problem. So quarterback doesn't have a run game. Then the pass blocking is extremely inconsistent. So Dak doesn't know if he's going to have 3 seconds or a second and a half. So, I mean, he's rushed there. And then our receivers, other than CD and Ferguson, we don't have anybody that can create separation. Tolbert, he's fast, right? But he's not sudden. He rounds off his routes, and he's not shifty in and out of breaks. Brooks, the same thing. So you got two guys that are consistently not getting separation, which is why we're bottom of the league in separation. So, I mean, you can't put that on Dak. He's got no time, no run game, and then they're doubling our good receiver, and then the other receivers don't get any separation. They're never open for him. Like, even Turpin's okay, but he just can't catch the ball, like we saw yesterday when Dak dropped that dime on him to win to keep us in the game. I think the solution, though, the good news, we do have a guy on the bench that we've seen can do that. And I don't know if it's because seniority or because he fumbled, but I played receiver, and Flournoy is an elite route runner with great speed and great hands. He just needs to not fumble the ball and make the rookie mistake. That's kind of my 2 cents on what I've seen from our season and what's going on lately. Also, too, I would say McCarthy needs to call some more double moves, but we saw how bad Jalen Tolbert runs double moves yesterday. So, I don't think it's on Dak, and I don't think it's 100% on McCarthy. One more quick thing, and I know I'm kind of ranting a little bit, but there's just a lot of things I saw. With that flat route we run with Ferguson all the time that they're jumping, why are we not seeing wheels off that? Like a quick pump to that and then throw it in the hole over the backer when our other receivers are running deep. So, I think that would make our offense a lot better. But you just can't do anything if you don't have a run game, you don't got consistent protection, and then you don't got guys that are creating separation. It's like, Dak's doing all he can. He's reaching. That's why he's throwing the picks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He doesn't have the guys open. They're doubling our best guy.
I agree with everything you said.
What you think about that? And he's the same thing. So
I think your play caller. I mean, for sure. I mean, our scheme is looking bad, and our players aren't the most elite of players or whatever. But it's your job as the head coach to kind of do all that stuff. I do think Mike McCarthy got too much on his plate or whatever, right? I think he has to be responsible for the whole team and the offense and just the play call in general. I don't think he has a good feel on what each player is good or bad at. We don't really do a whole bunch of what these players are good at, but we don't really make them not do what they're bad at. I just think Mike McCarthy gets nervous in these big games, and I think he reverts back to what he knows, and that's hitches and slants, you know. And I think every now and then
I agree with.
Please go ahead. No, please go ahead.
So I agree with that, and I think that's a valid point. But it's like I don't know if you play basketball. If you can't beat a guy off the dribble or you can't hit a jump shot, it doesn't matter like what your scheme is. If he can cover both, you're not ever threatening him. So we got Tolbert that's not ever threatening anybody. We've got Brooks that's not ever threatening anybody. And then all they got to do is double CD. And then also we're not even using Ferguson. Like Ferguson's a threat, right? He's a solid player. He's not like the best tight end in the league, but he's above average tight end, right?
Yeah.
And if you're only throwing to him in the flat where they can just come down and make tackles, like he'll break tackles like we saw yesterday, but they're not even double moving Ferguson. So it's like you got no threats. You can't ever beat the guy off the dribble and you can't hit a jump shot. So it's like the guy just has to like play easy defense on you and just not let you get out of control.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's just bend but don't break. That's why we keep getting to the red zone and we never get anything done. With McCarthy, though, I agree exactly with what you're saying, that he probably does have too much on his plate. And I don't think he's making enough double moves. It's like, hey, you're quick off the dribble, right? So what's the counter to that? You got a crossover. So like, boom, I'm really fast off the dribble. Okay, cool, I can beat you off the dribble. And now you're playing that really hard. What's the next counter? I'm going to hit you with a crossover, right? Or I'm going to crossover jump shot. And we're not doing any of that. Like, we're not – he tried to, like – I mean, I guess he tried to yesterday that one time with Tolbert run the double move, but he just doesn't know how to sell it. Like, he's just not he's not sudden or shifty. Like, all the best receivers – Jerry Rice, great in and out of breaks. He sets you up, makes you think you're going one way, goes the other way. Tolbert's just running, like, rounding stuff. He's not selling it like a Jerry or Devontae or CD or Amari.
Sure.
And, I mean, I get what you're saying with the play calling, but when you got no threats, it's like can't really – I mean, you can scheme a little bit, but you can't scheme the whole game, you know?
Yeah, I feel you, Mike, man. Good call, brother. I appreciate all the kind words and all that, and hey, man, me and you on the same page about a lot of this stuff. I do feel like the play caller is responsible for scheming the whole game. I mean, you have to scheme the whole game because that's where we make these adjustments, you know. Hell, San Fran schemed the whole game and they got on your ass about it. You know what I'm talking about? So, I mean, yeah, it's cool. Yeah, what it is, you know. Shouts out to Franklin, everybody that called in on the Franklin phones. Love y'all to pieces, man. Supers. Myron, what are you doing here? Don't you ever come back to my house? What you mean, Diamond? I always make sure you get home safe. Hey, y'all, so what happens when we on DLLS? In the interest of time, we read the $5 plus super chats. So I'm gonna read the dollar super chats, or the less than $5 super chats, and then I'm gonna read the ones today. And then we'll get up out of here. All right. Dro Nose dropped a deuce in the super chat and says, "Can y'all see Dro Nose? Cool, you down here?" It says, "What in the hell does Hunter Lipke actually do?" Hunter Lipke gets vouchers from his coach that we're gonna actually use them, just for your coach to come back and lie and not use them. But you know how that go. Appreciate you. Diddy dropped Diddy dropped the deuce and says, I want an offense like in 2021. Give me Genty and wide receiver too. I think when we get to the draft season, I think we're gonna have to ask ourselves real life questions. Are we gonna take a running back over a one tech defensive end, wide receiver, or O lineman? I think we got to have a real life conversation about that. Appreciate you, sir. Zach T dropped a deuce saying, y'all are sitting up here and ignoring Ford's performance. Nobody did that. Michael Aldridge dropped a deuce and says, feel like we're trying to tank this season. I've seen a lot of people say that. I've seen a lot of people say that it feels that way. Appreciate you, bro. Dro Nose came back with another dub and says Dak can't run because he's wearing heavy ass 11s. Oh no, you talking about his Jordans. Eternal Dynasty dropped a deuce and says, is football high on Dak's priority list? Yeah, for sure. Dak ain't doing nothing else. It ain't like Dak starring in movies or a UFC fight on the side. Yeah. I mean, look, bro, Dak got a football field in his backyard, bro. Like, you know, can't do that. Appreciate the super chat though. Zoltan dropped the deuce and says, is there anyone on expiring deals for you to resign or resign? I mean, Push by the only one. Pusha T, Tyler Smith by the only one, but the rest of them, the rest of them go. Even though, to be fair, a wife and kids should be a higher priority than football, though. To be fair, a wife and kids should be a higher priority than football. To be fair, but Dak prioritizes football, man. We ain't gotta act like that. AJ Metal dropped the deuce and says Aaron Rodgers isn't playing like Aaron Rodgers. He sure ain't. It's a lot of trash quarterback playing in the league this year, but you know. All right, so we're caught up on that. Appreciate you. Adrian Enriquez dropped 5, says no disrespect to Clarence Hill, but he looked goofy trying to defend Rico when Debo was literally hospitalized but managed to still play. You know. Men have disagreements or whatever. If y'all look at the DLLS podcast y'all watched on the post game show. Me and Clarence just disagreed about sick players playing. Santana Perez dropped 5 and says, at this rate, how good is our draft capital going to be this year? I don't know, big dog. That's a fair question. Hey, we gonna find out. I'll let you know after Atlanta, Texans, and Philly. I'm gonna let you know then. Otis dropped a dime and says all quarterbacks get paid. Only one team paid their quarterback after intentionally tanking the roster. Outside of CD, we have 0 explosive playmakers. Cowboy fans mad at Dak for not turning water into wine. Eh? Dak got to be better, but a lot of people got to be better. Appreciate you. B Diz is the 40 dropped the deuce and says I need Diggs to play like that every game. Voch. We're gonna watch the film and I'm gonna let you know what you're talking about, or I will confirm what you're talking about after I watch the film. Salute. Adrian Enriquez came back and dropped another 5. That's 10 altogether. Diaz said de dinero. Muchacho. Y'all act like we know how to draft D linemen. We really don't. Taco. Y'all know how I feel about Taco Show, but he was on to something. We said we really know how to draft D linemen. How's the Mozzie project going? Remember, we passed on TJ Watt for Taco. I don't like calling people clowns on the internet, but yeah, I feel you. Appreciate you, Adrian. And the watch guy dropped the deuce and says Terry and Shakir for Lamb. Good trade. I'm 6-2. Okay, this fancy football. Khalil Shakir and no. I think Lamb got too much outside considering that the Cowboys will. If the Cowboys offense figure this out, you would want to have Lamb on your team. So I would be moving as if the Cowboys are going to figure their offense out. So yeah, I wouldn't be moving on from CeeDee Lamb. I wouldn't be moving on from CeeDee Lamb. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, I wouldn't be doing it. I say, wait a minute. I say, no, you wait a minute. The safety barriers at Levi Stadium went up. Oh, no. Wolfpack Mail dropped a dime and says Zim using Dono out of place, and according to the numbers, Malik is being used in the box more than he ever has. Micah also needs to be a linebacker on rundowns. Him and Demo in pursuit is scary. Hey, we ain't gonna do it. They gotta show me. Marcus Hardison says, to truly shine, we must acknowledge the darkness within. Only then can we illuminate our true potential. I warned everyone. This is only going to get worse. To truly shine, you must acknowledge the darkness within. Only then can we illuminate our true potential. Marcus, I like that. In order to get better at something, you gotta be honest about how bad you are at something. If you're not good at something, you have to acknowledge that you're not good at something so that you can improve. I like that, Marcus Harrison. I think that works with a lot of things. I think we can make a correlation with many things in that. Shouts out to Marcus Harrison. Hold this L. Lion sleep outside. UNLV, young pimp, young goat, young lion. Yo, Marcus Harrison. That was facts, sir. Exactly. All right, cool. So we on the same page then. Cool. Fair enough. Fair enough. Chat, what a show today. Love y'all to pieces. Thank y'all so much. Of course, shouts out to Prize Picks. Shouts out to the Frankels for holding down the show. Salute to y'all for being sponsors and all that. Hey man, chat, we're gonna have to get through it together. No matter what happens, if we gonna get through it, we're gonna have to get through it together. I'll be doing some more streams this week, so if you missed it today, tap in. If you're watching this on the replay, hey, get ready. We'll be watching this live. I'll be dropping film sessions, but I'm gonna drop them tomorrow and the next day. When the Cowboys lose, I'll get the film sessions out at some point. When they win, boy, y'all had that film session this morning at 5 in the morning. Out there. Yeah, man. We had it 5 in the morning. Boy, y'all had that film session early if we'd have won that damn thing. But we lost, so y'all will get it tomorrow, okay? Tomorrow and the next day. But I will do Patreon as soon as I'm done with this. Let me get my life together. Take a little bathroom break, run downstairs and check up on everybody. I'm gonna come back up here and we're gonna get some Patreon in. All right. Patreon.com/vochlombardi. Yep. All right, y'all hold it down for Dosky Wilson, piece of whiskey. Love y'all 2 pieces. All right. Salute.